What game best describes the story of your life? For my kids, it's Candyland. They just love candy. But for so many people, it's more like playing Twister. Struggling through the twists and turns of everyday life, stretching themselves beyond their limitations and bending over backwards just to make ends meet. In their busy and hectic schedules, they try to be everywhere at the same time. Maybe for you, it's like chutes and ladders, constantly subject to the ups and downs, the highs and lows of life. Every time you manage to climb the ladder of success, you fall down a chute to the bottom again. For some, life is like a game of Monopoly. They'll do anything and everything to try and make money, as long as they can stay out of jail. How about the game of sorry? Feeling guilty because you're not a good enough parent, spouse, or friend? You always find yourself apologizing to others and feeling sorry for yourself? And then there's Tetris. Anything good you ever do is easily forgotten and disappears, while your mistakes keep on piling up and are remembered forever. Or maybe it's all just a game of cards. The hand you're dealt is fate. How you play is up to you. But no matter which game you feel your life is like, I want to share with you 5 things all games in life have in common. Goal, action, manual, enjoy, and success. Goal. Every game has a goal, not just soccer. There's an objective, a mission, and a purpose. You're aiming for something, whether it's capturing a flag, scoring the most points, or being the first one to make it across the board. There's always a specific challenge you're trying to overcome. Welcome to life. The Torah tells us God created man from soil and blew into him a soul of life. The difference between soil and soul is the I and the you. The goal of life? To let go of the I and embrace the you. You see, from the moment we're born, it's all about me, myself, and I. Ever noticed how a baby has no consideration for others? It's only concerned with its own needs. Feed me, bathe me, change me, and hold me, or else I'll blast your ears out. But as we get older, we learn how to take care of ourselves. And as we mature, we learn to take care and think of other people. The challenge of life is overcoming our natural tendencies towards selfishness and learning to become more considerate, more compassionate, and more giving to others. And like every game, you must make a move and take the necessary actions towards achieving your goal. In life too, we need to be bold and brave. We must take action and do whatever it takes, make tough choices and take chances to create the necessary changes. So how do I know what to do? No problem. Every game comes with a manual. A piece of paper or a booklet written by the creator and inventor of the game, giving you instructions, guidelines, rules, and regulations on how to play the game. Life too comes with a manual, teaching us the ins and outs of the game of life, how to play offense and how to play defense. And it was written, of course, by the creator of life himself. It's not easy. In fact, setting goals, taking action, and playing by the rules can be a lot of work and sometimes very hard. But so is winning a championship. The most important thing to remember is enjoy the process. Appreciate the opportunity to be on the court and be grateful for the chance to play. And finally, in the end, we all want to succeed in our mission and to win the game. Life is the same way. We all want to look back and be proud of the choices we made and the people we've become. So remember, play hard, play smart, and don't forget to enjoy yourself along the way.
So here we are, Super Bowl 53. Los Angeles Rams taking on the New England Patriots. Not coincidentally, we didn't have Parshas Yisro all that long ago. Maimon Arsinai, Matan Torah. So let's turn to a famous Rashi. At the very last Parsha in the Torah, V'zos Bracha, Perek Lamed Gimel Pasuk Beis, Rashi quotes for us the Sifri, well-known Gemara, Avodah Zarah, Beis, Amud Beis, that Hashem Yisparach offered the Torah to every other nation before Klal Yisrael. He offered it to Esav, he offered it to Yishmael. And Hashem Yisparach says, nations of the world, here you are, here's the greatest gift in the history of the world, it's yours for the taking. Esav says, I can't, lo sirtzach, I can't go out and receive the Torah, Yishmael lo sinaf. It's not for me. So Frank the Chidush Yarim asked the Chidush Yarim, if all the nations of the world were tested, then what indeed was the test for Klal Yisrael? After all, so Yishmael, you can't have the Torah. Esav, you can't have it. All the Sharumas Olam. So wherein was Klal Yisrael tested? Where was their Nekudas Hanisoyan? Writes the Heilige Chidush Yarim Zatzal. Yes, Klal Yisrael got a test. And what Azhara was repeated several times in the context of Parshas Yisro. And when it came to Maimon HaSinai, there Bnei Yisrael stood at the Piedmont of Sinai. And Hashem Yisborach through Moshe Rabbeinu says, keep warning the nation. I do not cross this boundary. I do not go beyond the Gvul. I don't want anybody climbing up the mountain. Azog the Heilige Chidush Yarim, that's the test for Klal Yisrael. And the test for Klal Yisrael is, what does a Yid want? You want to make it to the top. You want to climb upwards. You always want to steig and you want to reach the apex, the pinnacle. You want to get close to God. You want to get to the top of the mountain. Hashem Yisborach says, Maimon HaSinai is what? You got to hold back and restrain that urge for now. For right now, Moshe Rabbeinu is at the top, and you have to stay standing at the bottom. But Be'etzem, what does it mean to be a Yid? Hazak the Chidush Yarim, the insatiable appetite, the unquenchable thirst, the constant yearning. It says, I want to grow higher. The famous Vilna Gaon Mishlei, Perek Tesvav Pasuk Chav Daled. If a Yid isn't steiging in Yiddishkeit, if you're not always going up, then Bal Korchach, against your will, you're going down. And you always have to be growing, always have to be steiging. So there are a lot of lessons now to take out of a Super Bowl. Yes, 16-game season, New England Patriots. 11-5, Los Angeles Rams. 13-3. The Rams got the better record, but who's got the better quarterback? Who's got the better coach? Who's got the better owner? You got a Robert Kraft, you got a Bill Belichick, you got a Tom Brady, and you got a 41-year-old quarterback. And look at the experience: 5 Super Bowls and 4-time Super Bowl MVP. And the guy's 41, but he's still what? He's still steiging, he's still growing, he's still pushing. And Belichick, 66 years old, and he's still going at it. One of the best coaches, perhaps the best coach ever, the best quarterback, when he say, the best football player ever. And he's 41, he's mamish over the hill, and he's still pushing, the limits. And you look around in a Super Bowl, and this is what it all comes down, a whole 16-game NFL season, and then the playoffs. All boils down to this: who wants it more? Who's steiging more? Who's being Moshe Nefesh more? Who's pushing more? The Patriots. You can imagine in such an environment, in the cold climate, they know what it means to push. And you've seen the greatest football dynasty ever. 5 Super Bowls, now in their 6th. Super Bowl number 53. Who wants it more? That's what it's going to come down to. Who's pushing the limits? Perhaps there's yet another important lesson for us to take out. Yes, the Ksam Sofer that we've discussed many a time. There's so much to learn. Look, Haim Ratzim, Von Ratzim. They're running, what are they running for? Shtuyot, for Hevel Avolim, for sports, for throwing a piece of pigskin, a piece of leather, and touchdowns, field goals, v'chulei. And in the larger scheme of things, what does this matter? But look at how much time and effort and money and resources. Look at how much Mesiras Nefesh, Zog the Ksam Sofer, we have to learn from them. We have to glean that all-important message. If the Goyim are putting so much time and so much energy and excitement and enthusiasm into a sports game and into a Super Bowl, look at all the Buffalo Wings and all the Frankfurters and all the hamburgers and chips that everybody's consuming. Do we celebrate a Sima Torah the same way? Do we dance as Lebedik? And with the Sefer Torah, do we dance as Lebedik when we turn another page in the Gemara? And we're Messiah and all the Masechta. Do we jump for joy? Do we do our figurative wave? Are we jumping up and dancing galore? Are we Moser Nefesh for Torah? Are we Moser Nefesh for Yiddishkeit? How badly do we want it? Are we constantly steiging? Do we really want to get to the top? The most decorated Olympian athlete ever. Michael Phelps, 28 medals, 23 gold medals. More medals than anybody historically, and far more gold medals than anybody historically. Michael Phelps was once asked in the course of an interview, are you that much a better swimmer than all of your peers and all of your contemporaries? What really is that nakuda, that aspect that distinguishes you and separates you from everybody else in the competition? He says, you know what it means? He says, so many of my races, it comes down to 2 inches, it comes down to a couple of centimeters, even less than 1 second. So what's the key? The key ingredient, explains Michael Phelps, is I want it more. I want it more badly. I want to get to the top. I want that gold medal. I want to stand atop the podium. With that gold medal adorning my neck, I want it more badly than all my peers and all my contemporaries. The ones who want to get to the top, who have that insatiable appetite, those are the most successful in life. Zok the Chidushei Harim. A Yid wants to get to the top of the mountain. And you got to be Moser Nefesh. But again, there's a time and a place. Har Sinai was, Hashem says, I know you want to get to the top right now, and you're going to restrain that. Why? Because it's a bell. Bavur Tiyeh, you're also a Prechem. I want you to hold yourself in check. But Be'etzem, a Yid, when it comes to the time and the place, you got to let go and you want to climb to the top, and you want to make it to the top. Not only learning in all your respective fields, Yidden, I look at the Nobel Prizes out there. I look at Robert Kraft's success, owner of the Patriots. That's who wants it the most. Who wants it the most badly, who's willing to be Moser Nefesh for it, who's willing to put in the time and the effort and the energy and the resources to show that you want it more badly. Yes, Los Angeles Rams, Ka'ayel Teragafike Mayim, Ke Nafshi Sarga Elecha, Hatz Gavaldik Rams, Nafshi Sarga Elecha, Ka'ayel Tarag. You gotta want it, but do you want it as badly as a Bill Belichick, as a Tom Brady? And the guy's pushing 42 already, and he still wants it badly. Why? Because you never stop in life, Lahavdil. And you have to keep wanting, you have to keep pushing, but you gotta push yourself to the limits. The Rio Schar in Olam Haba. Hashem says, how much are you Moser Nefesh for Yiddishkeit? For Torah, for mitzvahs, for Masim Tovim. Allow me to close with the following true story. I was written up in Mishpacha magazine a couple of years ago. Lamaisa, I heard it from somebody who oftentimes was in the house of the Rabbi Aaron Leib Steinman, and he told me the Maisa. There was a Gevir who came to visit Rabbi Aaron Leib Steinman, Zechat Tzadik Lefrocha, a number of years ago. And he walks into Rabbi Aaron Leib Steinman and he sits next to the Rosh Hashiva Zatzal and he writes a check. And he says, Rosh Hashiva, here's a check, $500,000, $500,000, Rosh Hashiva, whatever you want. Any cause, it's yours. Whatever the Rosh Hashiva wants to do with it out tonight. I want to be sitting near Rabbi Aaron Leib Steinman. I want to be sitting near the Rosh Hashiva in Gan Eden Shamayla. So Rabbi Aaron Leib doesn't blink. I says, hold on 1 second. And he turns to one of his Gabalim, he says, I want you to put in a call to so-and-so who oversees all the different yeshivas throughout the city of Bnei Brak. He says, I want you to put in a call, I want you to find out how much money is necessary to cover all the outstanding debts and to pay all the salaries and cover all the bills for all the yeshivas for the rest of the year. So he does his ishtalis, calls him back a couple minutes later. They're going to need a little more than $3 million. Okay, Rabbi Aaron Leib Steinman turns to this Gevir. Now again, Baruch Hashem, there are plenty of wealthy, affluent Jews out there. This particular Gevir, Rabbi Aaron Leib Steinman already knew him. They had a yachas, they had a relationship. And Rabbi Aaron Leib Steinman turns to him. And he says, Rabbi Yid, if you write out this check for $3 million, then you could mamish be near me in the Olam HaEmes in Gan Eden Shamayla. $3 million. Gemara says, oh, Rabbi, I give you $500,000. $500,000's not going to cut it. $3 million, he's willing to do it. And the Gemara looks and he thinks and he says, I'm sorry, Rashiva, I can't do it. Rashiva says, and please leave. Ma pesher hadvara. Agabai turns to Rabbi Levi, says, what was that all about? He says, I know that Gevir. $500,000, that's Gavaldik. It's beautiful. We all wish. We had $500,000 to write over as a check to give to Chaim Kanevsky and Rabbi Leib Steinman and say, here, allocate it as you wish. So what was the var to Rabbi Leib Steinman? Says, I knew him. And I knew where he's holding. But if he wants to sit near me in Gan Eden Shamayla, that Sana Shova, the common denominator is, what are you Moser Nefesh for? He says, I spent my whole life being Moser Nefesh for Torah. You want to sit near me? You could be in proximity to me and proximity to the Shekhinah. Al Tanai that what? It's on condition. I want to see that Yenim's Mosa Nefesh for Torah. And this one could put his Mesiris Nefesh into Tzedakah. And this one into Mitzvahs. And this one into Masim Tovim. But the common thread, the common denominator is, are you Mosa Nefesh? Are you giving it Mamish? You're all for Yiddishkeit, whatever area. And Torah, and Mitzvahs, and Masim Tovim, whatever area in Yiddishkeit. You decide to focus on whatever your talents and aptitudes are. But are you giving it to Mamish? Are you pushing the limits? Rabbi Steinman said, I know this year. For this year to be Mosa Nefesh, for him to give me that $3 million check, he would have had to sell his house, sell his car, sell a lot of his possessions, move to Eretz, come to some small apartment, change his entire lifestyle. For him to come up with that $3 million, I don't know about you, but I would have done it. I'm way beyond Tom Brady's 41 years old. Rabbi Steinman, I'll do it in a second if I had the $3 million in the end of the day. What was he telling him? I want to see you pushing the limits. Are you pushing all your kaiches to the max? Are you really putting everything on the line? A Super Bowl, Al-Havdol, gives us a moment, gives us a day to say, look, these players, they're mamish putting their lives on the line. How many people, the accidents, the tragedies, tackle football, we all know the research. And they're putting their lives in the, for what? To get a trophy, to get a Vince Lombardi trophy. Yes, they're getting a lot of money too. Our life's not about the trophies, it's not about the awards, it's not about the money. The fame, look at the cover that they're getting, the Super Bowl v'chulei. If for these inyanim, they're being Moser Nefesh, the mama's putting their lives on the line. And they're going all out, giving every ounce of their energy. And Kayachal Havdil Alfi Abdullas. Are we doing the same thing? Are we going into our Torah, our mitzvah, Samasam Taivim? Are we being Moser Nefesh? Are we pushing ourselves to the limits? Klal Yisrael, it's time to wake up. Higiyas Man. Every day by us is a super day, is a Super Bowl day. Every day the Eibishter Kaviyokal is demanding. It doesn't matter whether you're 41, whether you're Belichick 66, whether you're Robert Kraft, doesn't matter how old you can be in your 70s and 80s and 90s. Are you pushing yourself to the limits? Where the sheifas, the ritzinus? Do you have the desire? Do you have the yearning and the longing to say, I want to get to the top. I want to make it to the top. I want to be the biggest Eved Hashem, the biggest Tamachokran, the biggest Tzaddik, the biggest Panstoka, the biggest Panchesed. Whichever area in Yiddishkeit you focus on, Givaldik. I'm about to take that area and be Moser Nefesh. And give it your all and say, I want to make it to the top. Tom Brady could have sat back and he could have said, oh, one Super Bowl, I got a ring already. And he did 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 now. And he's still pushing. How many more records is the guy going to break? At the end of the day, you want to be the Rams, you want to try, okay, they haven't won a Super Bowl in years, but now Jared Goff talked early, and you got players, they got talent. How badly do they want it? Kalyal, Taragafike Mayim, Kenavshi Saragalecha. Let's learn from the Rams. Anavshi Saragalecha. And let's take that desire, that yearning. Hey, Mr. We don't want it for sports, and we don't want it for Super Bowls. We'll take the time perhaps. But by us, it's only to learn the all-important lessons. And we want to take that drive and that yearning, and we want to apply it to get to the top of our mountain, our Torah, our Chesed, Tzedakah, Masam Tovim. Keep steiging, Klal Yisrael. We are the real winners, the real heroes. Keep steiging, mechayel, lachayel, ad biyaskol tzedek v'mheira v'yameinu, amen v'yamein.
Since 2006, Chazaq has inspired thousands of people via its numerous life-changing programs.
From little children
to teenagers,
from men
to women,
from yeshiva students
to young rabbis, and everyone in between.
Chazaq touches them all, educating, inspiring, and guiding thousands throughout the year.
Friends, life is a football game. You're given the ball, either as a receiver or a running back. Don't let go of it. You run with it. You advance it towards that end zone. The Hebrew name for ball is kadur. It's the word the Torah uses for our planet, kadur ha'aretz. Our world is called a ball. Each one of us is given a piece of the world in order to advance it, to bring it closer to its goal, to elevate it, to increase goodness in the world, to bring more meaning, purpose, holiness, power, energy, and advance our world towards its ultimate destination and its ultimate purpose. When you're given that ball, don't drop it. Look ahead and run with it. And you know, even if you can't bring it to the end zone, don't despair. Get it 10 yards down the field. And even if you can't get it 10 yards, just advance it. There will be another down. There will be another play. Or as our sages put it, Loi alecha hamelacha ligmar, v'lo ata ben chorin lehibatal mimena. You don't have to finish the job, but don't exempt yourself from your part in the mission. You're going to be tackled. In life, you are going to be tackled, and sometimes tackled to the ground. Don't give up. It's supposed to be that way. When you're being tackled from within or from without, when you're experiencing voices of despair, toxicity, guilt, trauma, anger, sadness, addiction, depression, or you're being tackled from without, it does not mean you're not doing well. It means you're part of the game. On the contrary, if you're being tackled, it means you have the ball in your hand. You're doing something right. That's why you're being tackled. Imagine a football player who's being tackled and he says, wow, I'm such a loser. I'm such a failure. I'm quitting. To the contrary, because you have the ball in your hand, you're being tackled. Don't despair, don't give up. And even when you're tackled and that ball is taken from you or you drop it, sometimes we drop the ball, sometimes we're beaten, sometimes we're tackled to the ground. You don't quit the game. You stand up and you continue playing. Remember, you don't take the ball by yourself. There's a quarterback whom we sometimes call a field general. The master of the world throws that ball to you or gives that ball into you. We don't always choose the time and the position, but wherever you are, you were placed there. And the quarterback has chosen you and given you that ball. That means you have all the power and the energy and his faith and confidence that you can take that ball and advance it. Don't doubt your potential. Trust it. The quarterback, after all, is a good leader. He knows you, he knows his team, and he has entrusted you with that ball. Trust it and run with it. Remember, in the game of football, every player has his own unique position. And your position is indispensable. Never compare yourself to somebody else. Try to take over somebody else's position. The position where you are in the world is unique and it's indispensable. You make a contribution to humanity and to the world that nobody else in the past or in the future, in the present, can make. Sometimes you got to play offense, and sometimes you have to play defense. Sometimes in life, at the moment, I can't play offense. What I have to do is I have to play defense. I have to protect my soul, protect my territory, protect my field, protect my integrity, protect my goal, protect my spiritual territory, protect my conscience, protect my body, protect my mind, protect my soul. I may look at it and say, this is valueless, this is insignificant. I want to play offense, but as we know, often the best offense you could play is defense. Don't delegitimize its value and its impact. At every game, there are fans and there are players. What's the difference? The fan is involved. The fan is passionate. The fan is screaming. The fan is hollering. The fan is enjoying the game. But what happens when the fan sees that his team is not doing well? His team is losing. Well, at that point he may get drunk a little more. May eat another 3 hot dogs, another 2 fries, some more chicken nuggets, some more potato chips or popcorn, down another few cans of Coke or twigs of beer. And if it gets really bad, he may just stand up and go home. The player never stops playing. The player remains in the game till the end. In life, you can be a fan or you can be a player. You can be a spectator, observing, enjoying, but always on the outside. Don't be a fan. Be a player. Make it yours. Get involved. Put your soul into it. Sometimes you win. Sometimes you lose. But it's your game. Treat it as your game. Friends, play well. It's time to win.